All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to break down the complete journey of early human development, and we're going to focus on exactly what you need to know to ace your biology exams. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the basic anatomy, the main players. Then we'll follow the incredible journey from fertilization all the way to implantation. And we're going to finish up with a special section totally focused on how to nail your exam questions on this topic. Sound good? Let's dive in. First up, let's talk about the key players. To really get a grip on this incredible process, we first need to understand the anatomy. Basically, the stage where this whole drama unfolds. So the system has 4 main components, but for our focus today, for really understanding where life begins, we're going to zoom in on 3 absolutely critical players: the ovaries, the fallopian tubes, and the uterus. So let's start at the very beginning. Deep in the abdominal cavity, you'll find the ovaries. Their whole job is to mature the egg cells, which we call ova. Now, each ovum develops inside this tiny fluid-filled sac called a Graafian follicle. You can think of it like a protective little bubble, getting the egg all ready for its big journey. Next up, we have the fallopian tubes. Think of them as the highway that connects the ovary to the uterus. But here's the thing, there's so much more than just a pathway. This is the specific spot, the designated meeting point, where fertilization is actually supposed to happen. It's where sperm and egg meet. And that brings us to the uterus. This is a powerful muscular organ that's going to be home for the developing embryo. Its inner lining, the endometrium, is absolutely crucial. See, every single month it thickens up and gets rich with blood vessels. It's basically preparing this soft, nutrient-packed bed just in case a fertilized egg shows up. Okay, so we've got the map, right? We know the key locations. Now let's put things into motion with the 2 events that kickstart this entire process: ovulation and fertilization. So what exactly is ovulation? Well, once an ovum is fully mature, its little protective bubble, the Graafian follicle, it bursts, and the egg is flushed out of the ovary. This is ovulation. It's when the egg is officially released and is now available for fertilization. What happens next is a really precise sequence. The ovum travels into the fallopian tube, and that's where it meets the sperm. Now, it's a bit of a race, but only one single sperm can get through and fuse with the ovum. And the moment they fuse, boom, a brand new cell is created, the zygote. And this new single cell, it's called a zygote. What's so amazing is that it already contains the complete genetic blueprint for a new person. Right away, it starts dividing. 1 cell becomes 2, 2 become 4, and so on. And this is all happening while it's traveling down the fallopian tube toward its final destination. Okay, so the journey's not over yet. After fertilization, this little developing ball of cells has to find a secure place to grow. And that brings us to implantation. This step is absolutely 100% critical for a pregnancy to continue. Now, you're going to want to pay close attention to this definition because it's a huge step. Implantation is the process where the embryo, which has been dividing and growing, finally reaches the uterus and literally embeds itself into that soft, prepared uterine wall. Remember how we said that uterine lining gets all thick and ready? Well, this is why. The entire point of that preparation is to provide nourishment and a stable, safe home for the embryo. Without that thick endometrium, implantation just can't happen. So once it's implanted, the embryo gets to work building its own incredible life support system. And it does this using 4 key membranes. These structures are just fascinating, and they're essential for its survival. Okay, so this support system has 4 parts. First, the chorion helps form the embryo side of the placenta. Then there is the amnion, which creates a fluid-filled sac to cushion and protect the embryo. The allantois develops into the umbilical cord, the lifeline to the placenta. And finally, there's the yolk sac, which in humans actually has a pretty limited role. Now let's talk about the placenta, because this thing is a marvel. It's built from tissues from both the mother and the embryo. It acts as this amazing exchange barrier. Nutrients and oxygen go from mother to embryo, and wastes go back the other way. But here's the really crucial part. Their blood systems stay totally separate. Their blood never ever mixes. And why is that so important? Well, it prevents the mother's immune system from seeing the embryo as something foreign and attacking it. Pretty smart, right? Okay, so the embryo is implanted. It has its life support system. Now let's fast forward and look at the full-term development, the whole journey of pregnancy. Here's an important vocabulary switch you need to know. From the 3rd month of pregnancy on, we stop calling it an embryo. The correct scientific term is now fetus. This just marks a new stage where all the organs and systems are much more developed. So, how long does this whole process take? Well, on average, a full-term pregnancy lasts about 280 days, give or take, which is about 9 months. And this entire 9-month journey, it has a specific scientific name that you definitely need to know for your exams. It's called the gestation period. All right, we have covered a ton of ground. So now let's really zero in on the most important points you need to remember. This is where we turn all this knowledge into marks on your exam. Okay, here's a classic exam question. Differentiate between ovulation and fertilization. It's easy to mix these up, but if you just remember 2 things for each, the what and the where, you'll be golden. Ovulation is the release of an egg from the ovary. Fertilization is the fusion of sperm and egg in the fallopian tube. Nail those 2 points and you've got it. And speaking of easy marks, definitions are your best friend. Examiners love asking for them, so make sure you can give a quick, clear explanation for implantation, gestation, the function of the placenta, and of course, when an embryo becomes a fetus. Knowing these cold is a guaranteed way to pick up points. Okay, to wrap this all up, here's my final tip for you. Ask yourself this: can you draw and label a diagram of the system and state one key function for each part? That is such a high-value skill for your exam. If you can master that, you're in a fantastic position to succeed. It really is incredible when you think about it. This entire complex process all begins with the journey of a single cell.